A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Market Movers, we will be considering the bullish momentum which we are seeing in the Euro USD for almost 2 weeks now. And after yesterday's ECB's monetary policy announcement, in which the ECB decided to hold the interest rate steady at 0%, we saw some fresh momentum on the upside. Of course, that didn't really sustain, and again we saw the reversal towards 1.137 levels. And in today's session, we are again seeing fresh buying at those levels, and now the Euro USD is back above 1.14, and as we had discussed earlier as well, it is well on track for the 1.15 zone. If you consider the data docket, we got these final numbers for the CPI, and here, as expected, there is no revision in the inflation data, and now the CPI stands at 0.3% for the month of June, both month on month and as well as the year on year data. So there is no change, and there is some uptick compared to the prior month's data. So that's the only positive takeaway here. Later on, we move on to the North American trading session, and here we got the housing data for the US, and with that, at the same time, the wholesale sales for the Canada were also released, and here also there is a uptick in terms of month-on-month figure for the month of May, and even the housing numbers are looking better for the US. Now, later in the day, we have this University of Michigan's consumer survey data, in which the various surveys regarding the consumer expectations, current conditions, inflation expectations, as well as the consumer sentiment readings will be released. And here for the month of for the month of July actually, we are expecting the upside momentum to continue, and the consumer expectations are likely to go up to 73.5 compared to what we saw in the prior month. But the current conditions have actually bit of deteriorated, and because of that, the current conditions might go down. And as far as the inflation expectations are concerned, not much change is being expected there, whereas the sentiments are also likely to hold steady, and it is not really likely to be market moving unless we get some surprise deviation on the either side. So let's see how things unfold once we get the data, maybe in half an hour from now. Moving on to the technical outlook, we will be considering the Euro USD and then the USD CAD. Let's start with the Euro USD's technical outlook first. This is the daily time frame chart, and after consolidating close to 1.12 zone, the Euro USD has picked up momentum, and here we are trading just slightly below this immediate swing high around 1.15. And if you consider this momentum and this formation, it looks pretty much likely that we will see 1.15 zone in coming days. Even in today's session, after due consolidation, the buying is back, and as we had discussed in yesterday's session, if any of you had gone in for any buy trade, I think you might be sitting on good amount of profit in today's session. Now, coming to the today's session, as we have only US session left and most of the day is over, it will be kind of pretty difficult to say that if we are going to get any fresh buying opportunity in today's session. Maybe we can see what can be the levels in coming days to consider, and then we will leave it that. We won't really get too excited to enter at any price in today's session. It will be better to enjoy the weekend instead of worrying about the position being open for next 2 days. So now, as we are wrapping up the week, here we have this Euro USD consolidating close to the first resistance of this month's pivot point series. This has been the week of consolidation in a way for the Euro USD, and we have these up and down momentum moments along this line which is there around 1.140. In today's session, as I said, the fresh momentum is back and we are almost trading 50 pips above the day's lows now, and this is likely to sustain as we close the week. But the takeaway is that we can indeed consider buying opportunities whenever we get the opportunity close to the crucial support zone, and that's the time to get involved. But right now it's difficult to say, but the momentum is on the upside, and any opportunity to go for the long side trade can be exploited provided we get the risk reward ratio fairly in control. Both these chart patterns, the regression curve as well as the pivot point series, are pointing to the continuation of the bullish momentum. And if you consider this regression curve, it is kind of steep now, and it is pointing to the continuation of this trajectory. And with that, if we move to the 1 hourly chart, here also we have this continuation of this upward momentum. The Euro USD has found support close to this 100 SMA zone. Here we saw this extended consolidation after yesterday's fall from the levels close to 1.14 to 1.138, and after due consolidation the euro is finding fresh buyers in today's session and pushing to the higher prices. And now, as we consider the fresh opportunities, I think anywhere between this confluence zone of 50 to 100 SMA can be considered. But as I said, given the fact that today we are closing for the week and then we will be back after 2 days, maybe we can take it bit easy and see how things evolve. And maybe if we get any opportunity on the lower side, if there is some downward selling pressure in the latter part of the day and then after due consolidation, we can think about it. But of course, as I said, the buying opportunity is there whenever we have this support zone into play. So any buying opportunity in the price band of 1.138 to 1.14 would be good enough for our trading opportunities, and with that the stop loss can be kept just little below this 200 SMA. So the stop loss of around 1.134 can be considered while taking a risk of around 40 to 50 pips, and on the higher side we can target around 100 pips as our target is of 1.15 zone. Now moving to the euro USD technical outlook. Here we have seen this consolidation going on near 1.35 zone for almost 2 months now, and even in today's session again we are seeing these USD CAD's sideways momentum. And if we consider this long consolidation phase, I think the underlying momentum is likely to prevail, and we might see again move on the downside in coming session, which might take the USD CAD toward this 1.33 zone, which is its immediate swing low as well. But if you consider this prior fall from 1.14 to 1.139, and then this retracement, and again this fall after due consolidation, we are pretty much trading close to this 100% Fibonacci expansion of its prior fall, and at those levels it has been finding some buying momentum. And as you can see, the price action has been sandwiched between these 100% and 61% Fibonacci expansion of its prior fall. Now, as we are likely to see continuation of the downward momentum if we consider the 4 hourly chart. Here we have regression curve which is also pointing to the lower side, and if we consider the pivot point series, it has been pretty hard to tell as the price action has been on the both sides of this central pivot point, and it has been in a zigzag momentum where it has been difficult to make a call purely based on the pivot point series. as we have price action on the both side of the spectrum. But putting it in conjunction with other indicators, we get a fair bit of confirmation that the underlying momentum is on the bearish side, so not bullish side, and if that is likely to continue, then we can be looking for fresh short selling opportunity as and when we get opportunity to go short. And from that perspective, I think we will have to rely on the hourly chart more, as we don't really have a significant price zone here which can help us guide through our trading decision where to enter and where to exit. So for that we will mostly rely on the hourly setup in today's session. So here we have this formation of lower lows and lower highs, and if we see this consolidation unfolding without a break on the upside, then I think we will have one more reason to believe that the bearish trend which is there visible on the daily time frame chart is likely to unfold on the short time frame as well, and we will see after this due consolidation, if there is a fresh break on the downside, I think that would be an opportunity to get involved for the short sale side. Here we have this 50 and 200 SMS crossover as well. In yesterday's session, we had this golden crossover of 50 SMA crossing below 200 SMA, and also the 100 SMA has kind of converged with the 200 SMA, and it seems pretty likely that we will see the break on the downside if the price action shifts to some extent on the downside. So taking this into consideration, I think the current price zone can be considered for going for fresh short sale opportunities, with the stop loss coming in around 1.361 to 1.362. That should be good enough. And if we see the price action breaking those levels and moving further, then there won't be any really reason to believe that the decision to go short is likely to prevail in our favor. So current price action, this consolidation closer to the resistance zone, is an ideal ground to get involved for the short sale side, short sale trade. And with that, on the lower side, we can target these immediate swing low which is there around 1.135. So for a risk of around 40 to 50 pips, you can target almost around 80 to 90 pips on the higher side, and if things go well, even the target of 100 pips can be considered, which will be closer to its this prior swing low around 1.349. So taking that into account, we get roughly a risk reward ratio of 1 is to 2. Not exactly 1 is to 2, or just little less than that, but still the opportunity is good enough, and if you are willing to take the risk, I would say that this is the time to get involved for any short sale trade in the USD CAD. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write it in the comment section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead and the fabulous weekend as well. See you on Monday. Goodbye.